Very warm welcome once again to the NH Scott Park in Atlanta. We are in for the run chase. 115 is the target for the Atlanta Param. Very formidable total, as the opening batsmen for the Param are already in the middle. Damien Inngs, another of these familiar names on the US circuit. And he's out there with Omari Williams. As I said, 115 is the target, and Babwa is going to take up the attack from the northern end. He likes to bowl in the power play in these limited overs competitions. He's got a very packed offside field, but both his sweepers are on the onside. All in readiness, and here we go. Around the wicket, Babwa trying to tuck the left-hander, trying to cramp him for space. Damien Ebanks on strike. Big shot! Not given. Babwa is trying to slant that ball in the air with the arm to the left-hander. Ebanks was looking for the slog sweep. Struck on the pad. Babwa is not a big turner of the ball. Likes to bring the ball in with the arm to the left-hander. He cuts it slightly under the ball, underside of the ball. But Ebanks is able to get himself off the mark now. Just a little dab to the offside. Babwa hasn't got a high arm action. He just undercuts the ball side arm at an angle, as if you're looking at the clock. At around 2 o'clock would be the angle for the right arm around the wicket. Different tactics for the right hand though. There's a mini conference between the senior pros to figure out how to go against Omari Williams. Once again, he's packed the offside field for the right-hander too, and same tactic with 2 sweepers on the onside, only 3 fielders on the onside otherwise. Still bowling round the wicket. Wicket to wicket stuff from Babwa. Dot ball. Babwa is a very, very experienced campaigner. He knows his game inside out. A little drifter. Big shot, the nod of the head and the raise of the finger, as Omari Williams is perplexed. But Babwa, as I said, knows his game inside out. He went full and under the bat of Williams. The only thing that the umpire had to judge was if that ball was pitching within the stumps. And he judged on that, and Omari Williams makes the long walk back. First wicket down for the Param Veers. Williams gone without troubling the scorers. 1 for 1. Brian Gale is the new man in. Excellent over so far from Babwa. Just the 1 run and a wicket of his first 5 deliveries. kind of start that Atlanta Fire would have been looking for. Babwa is bowling with a slip, this time bowling over the wicket now. Still looking to take that ball away from the right-hander. Arm ball. Once again, a splendid finish by Babwa. First over gone. Atlanta Param Veers 1 for 1. In the air, but away from the fielder. Ebanks couldn't get hold of that. Chris has started the bowling from the pavilion end, the commentary box end. Left hand, right hand combination for the Atlanta Param Veers as Brian Gale takes the guard. Once again, the Atlanta Fire is coming with a clear plan. Smashing stroke. The fielder Ricardo Paul didn't want any of that. He's pulled his hand out of that as it was bouncing right in front of him. Splendid stroke from Brian Gale. He gave it everything. And too hot to handle for Ricardo Powell. First boundary for the Param Veers. Back on target, Chris once again. Tipping a run for Brian Gale. Ebanks charges Chris. Swings at thin air and the umpires called it a wide. A marginal call. But umpire is in the best position. 8 for 1 Param Veers. Another good delivery. Chris is hitting good lengths, hard for Ebanks to get underneath it. So far, it's been a very, very good start for the Atlanta Fire. 9 for 1 into the second over. Tip in a run, a loud call from Inngs, sending Gale back. Hard lengths from Chris. Excellent bowling. Giving himself some room. Gale swings at thin air. Good pace from Stewart as well. The tall lad. Effort delivery. End of a superb over from him. 9 for 1 Atlanta Param Veers after 2 overs. Seems like Bob was going to bowl through inside the power play, which he normally does. Leads from the front, both with the bat and the ball. Earlier scored 33 runs in a breezy knock. In the air, long ons coming in on the bounce. Ebanks didn't get hold of that, and he'll be glad because if he'd got more bat on it, it would have carried to the fielder. Ebanks moves to 4, mostly in singles, in fact all in singles. The only boundary in the first 13 deliveries has come from Brian Gale. Babu around the wicket to the right-hander. Ball straight, terrific delivery, great bowling from Shazam Babwa, angling it away from the right-hander. Gale swinging across the line to a straight delivery and got castled. 10 for 2 in the third over. Param Veers in a spot of bother. Param Veers are in big trouble here. 10 for 2. Ebanks is still there. We know he's very capable and very experienced. But the task is not easy against some quality bowling from Chris and Babwa. Patel is the new man in. Another left-hander. So pair of left-handers in the middle for Atlanta Param Veers. Playing to Babwa's strengths, I think, because he likes to angle that ball into the left-handers. Cramp him for space. Another good delivery. Slight fumble by the keeper. Looking at the reactions, I think there was a slight edge. Excellent bowling nonetheless from Babwa once again. He's spun a web around the Atlanta Param batsman. 2 runs for 2 wickets inside power plays, nothing short of sensational. As Patel is just happy to dab this into the offside. Who would have thought that in T10 cricket you'll be playing a few deliveries to see off a bowler in his 2-over spell. But probably this is what Patel is thinking. As this one is picked up nicely, one-handed. Gajanand, I think. Excellent pickup. Good bit of fielding. Good cricket from the Atlanta Fire. Big shot once again, but nothing doing as Babwa has finished his spell. Sensational piece of bowling. 2 overs, 2 for 2 inside the power play. That in T10 cricket is nothing short of a miracle. Superb bowling. Gets a huge round of applause from his teammates down towards our left. Param Veers tattering. 10 for 2 after 3 overs. Chris starting off his second over. Inngs is on strike. He's only managed 4 in the first 3 overs. He hasn't had much of the strike, admittedly. 6 balls he's faced. This one looking for a big heave. Not quite getting hold of it. It's a long boundary, but Inngs was never interested in the 2. Getting pretty hot and humid out here, even inside the shade. It's pretty taxing for the players, even though it's only 10 overs. But it's quite hot as Patel is ready to take up strike against Chris. The power play is done and dusted, so Babwa has got the third man in fine leg deep. He's given Chris another sweeper on the onside too. Hard lengths once again. Good fielding from Gajanand Singh. He's on fire in the field. The little left-hander is covering the ground very, very nicely. Good cricket from Atlanta Fire. Inngs and Patel have their jobs cut out. Just to break their stranglehold from the Atlanta Fire opening bowlers. Short lifting, went for the uppercut, Patel, as the square leg umpire has nodded for a wide and the umpire has followed suit. Chris wasn't too pleased about it. Slight discrepancy as the umpire has taken care of that. He's reverted his decision. It's a common occurrence at club level, so nothing to fuss about too much. As Chris went for the full yorker, Patel very risky. Timed it very nicely and breaks the shackles for Param Veers. Patel is off the mark with a boundary. 15 for 2. Off the outside edge once again. Fell short of the deep point fielder. Sends in a fiery return. Flat, bouncing in front of the keeper. Very, very hard. An extra overthrow is the result. 17 for 2. We're inside into the fourth over. One delivery to go from Chris's spell. He's gone for 15 of his 1.5 overs. Shot, but straight to the fielder. That was typical left-handers slash outside the off stump. Very elegant, but straight to the fielder. Chris finishes off with a single. Param Veers. Param Veers 18 for 2. There's a slight discrepancy with the count of deliveries. The umpire's consulting and it's been called as over. So 4 overs gone. Param Veers stuttering. 18 for 2, needing 115 to win. 6 overs to go now and 97 more runs to go. An uphill task for the Param Veers, but we'd have to see because Atlanta Fire would have to make some bowling changes now. Babwa has bowled his spell. Once again, worth mentioning, 2 for 2 of his 2 overs. Sensational bowling. Patel is batting on 7 and Inngs has got 5. Ricardo Powell is going to take up the attack from the northern end. He's got Patel in his sights. Patel goes through the offside field down to the sweeper. Mostly singles for the Atlanta Param Veers. 2 boundary hits by Patel. One was for Patel, one was for Gale. That's all in terms of the boundaries for Param Veers. They need to pick up the boundary count if they want to get anywhere close to that total. As Inngs, his slash flat, but sensational effort from Gajanand. And I think he's caught it as well. Might have hurt the finger in the process, but that went low and flat. Diving forward, never easy. But he judged it to perfection. And yet another sensational catch. We already saw one from Dyer in the first innings. And now it's Gajanand. So Inngs makes the long walk back. He's made only 5. Remember, this is the 5th over. And Inngs came to open the innings. But now he's gone for 5. And the Param Veers are 18 for 3. 19 for 3, Atlanta Param Veers. Garvey is the new batsman. Ricardo Powell got his first wicket on his second delivery. I think we might have a substitute on field. Gajanan, who took Naveen, who took the catch, is coming off. Powell now. As the batsman crossover, a little bit of turning across the face of the bat for the left-hander. Powell wearing it very nicely. Once again, this time it's a quicker one. The Atlanta Paramveer innings is going nowhere. Patel is batting on 8, 19 for 3. This time it's in the air, but over the top, bouncing into the fence. Long off came around. We'd have to wait for the umpire's signal. Went pretty close to the fence, but good save in the end. So the Atlanta far fielders another delivery. That's the end of the 5th over now at halfway stage. Paramveers 21 for 3. We're about to start the 6th over. Salman is the new bowler. Paramveer 21 for 3. Patel batting on 11. Garvey is yet to open his account. A target of 115 runs seems a very, very long way away. Salman got unlucky as Patel was swinging, got the inside edge. Sluggish running, I would have thought. Just a single. (23 for 3). Saying 92 more runs needed of 29 deliveries. So with the cream of the top order already back in the hutch, you could safely say that Atlanta Fire, they're right on top here. Salman is at the top of his mark. Garvey's going to take up. Full toss down the leg side, helped on its way. One bounce 4. Garvey off the mark with a boundary. These boundaries have been few and far between for the Atlanta Paramveers. They've fallen way behind, and it will take a miraculous effort from here to bring them back even into contention. Salman, short, stocky build. Nice firm drive to the onside. Big boundary, a good throw, and right over the top of the stump. Superb fielding. This is Chris. He picked up the ball nicely and sent a flat return right over the top of the stumps. Salman got himself into a good position as well. And the Param Veers are sinking further and further as another one bites the dust here. 25 for 4. Atlanta Fires could do no wrong here today. As this one is smashed by Garvey. Thumping stroke to the onside. Salman pitching it short. A boundary for Garvey. Giving his team something to cheer about. 32 for 4. Garvey moves to 9. Slight change in the field. We see slight cloud cover is taken over, cooling things off a little bit. Full length delivery from Salman. Just the one to Chris. Slight fumble, but Atlanta Fire is on top, so the running is hesitant. And Garvey is the first batter, I think, from Param Veers who's got into the double figures. He's batting on 10. Parchment, the new batsman, he's going to take up strike now. Now this solid thump down the ground. Straight to the fielder. Just the one run. Salman finishes off with a single. He's gone for 12 in his over. 34 for 4 after 6 overs. Atlanta Param Veers. Start of the fresh over as it's been launched by Parchment. Fielder trying to come underneath that, but way too much for him. The first 6 of the innings, and it took 6.1 overs for Atlanta Param Veers as Gibran has been carted for a 6 of his very first delivery. Parchment moves to 7. 40 for 4 Param Veers. needing a total of 115 runs. 75 more runs needed in just 23 deliveries. Another one, back-to-back sixes. Parchment, where you been, man? Your team had needed this from long time ago. He's trying his best. And Gibran is under fire from Parchment. Swing and a miss. Gibran pulled his length back as Parchment was swinging once again, trying to get down at the bowler. Good bounce on that occasion for Gibran. Slight flurry of activity in Param Veers' innings, which had been quite dull up until the start of this over. Another six, or is it? He's got enough. Yes, he has. 3 sixes for Parchment in this over. 50 has been raised by Param Veers. 52 for 4. Parchment 19. Includes 3 sixes, all of them coming in the first 4 deliveries of this over from Gibran. Parchment once again gets ready, looking over his shoulder to the onside. That's the area he's looking to target, but good delivery from Gibran outside the off stump. Umpire is just checking. 1 delivery to go for Gibran's overs. He's gone for 6 in this over. Short, Parchment didn't get hold of it. Fielders getting underneath it. Atlanta Fire's catching has been top class today. Patches another one. Parchment's little flurry has come to an end. He's gone for 19. And Gibran has finished off his over with a wicket. Param Veers 52 for 5 after 7 overs. Anderson is the new batsman, and he's the one who's going to take strike as the batsman crossed over whilst that ball was in the air. Salman is continuing his spell. None for 12 of his first over. Game, it may seem, it's just the academics left with 3 overs to go and another 63 runs needed. Excellent Yorker from Salman as Garvey has refused the run. He wants to take strike of all the balls. 17 deliveries, 63. He needs the boundary on almost every delivery from here on in. Another field change. I can see only 3 fielders on the onside. All of them on the fence. As Garvey went for the ramp. Missed it by a long way. Salman cleverly saw him early and threw the ball wide. .52 for 5. Swing and a miss again. Garvey trying his best, but the bowling is too good. Garvey's got hold of that. Cars are in the danger, but it went even outside the car park. A massive 6. This is almost a 100-meter hit. It's not a small boundary down towards our commentary box. And it went about 30 yards over the fence as well. We've seen some splendid hitting and some huge hitting. None bigger than that, as Garvey really got hold of that. Garvey once again gets ready. Slow delivery, swing and a miss. Clever change of pace from Salman. .13 deliveries to go. 57 needed. Impossible. As this one, Salman gets a hand to it. Excellent effort from the quick man from Atlanta Fire. As Garvey was backing away, but he's managed to keep strike. As this was the last ball for Salman. He finishes with none for 19 of his 2 overs. Param Veers 59 for 5 after 8 overs. Gibran, after going for 3 sixes, has been replaced by Ricardo Powell, who's already bowled 1 over for 4 runs. He's got his name on the score sheet as well. Garvey batting on 17. Ready to take strike against Powell. Flighted delivery, but a little bit of a drag from Garvey as a misfield, but the running, as you could tell by this stage of the innings, wasn't very intense, so no damage done. 60 for 5. Anderson is going to take up his first delivery. Off the outside edge, it's running down to the third man fence. It's a long boundary, but Chris wasn't able to hold that back in. Fast outfield. Anderson off the mark with a boundary. If you talk of academics, the required run rate is 30 runs, which is, we need 6 of every delivery from here on in, I think, if my math serves me right. 10 deliveries, 60. Yeah. Another fire in delivery from Ricardo Powell. Anderson got a single off the bat. A run to the total for Anderson. He moves to 5. Param 65 for 5. Garvey, strong shot down the ground, but good piece of fielding. His second run as Powell has run him out, so Anderson is out. As Garvey was looking to keep the strike, but Anderson wasn't quick enough to come back for the 2. So another wicket falls for the Param Veers. Only 1 run will be added to the total. So it's 66 for 6 with only 9 deliveries to go. .66 for 6. Garvey is back on strike. He's on 19. And Sewell is the new batsman. It's a tall off spinner, bowled pretty well earlier in the day. As this one, Garvey has launched it again, but straight to the fielder. As I say, only the academics are left in this game now. 67 for 6. Garvey, top scorer with 20. Putting some resistance from the otherwise pretty lackluster performance from the Atlanta Param Veers with the bat. I thought they did pretty well with the ball, barring a couple of overs, as this one is in the air, in the deep. As I keep saying, the catching for the Atlanta Fire has been top class. Yet another superb take in the deep. And the wickets keep falling, as this time Sewell makes the long walk back. Ricardo Powell gets yet another wicket. And Param Veers 67 for 7. 67 for 7, and we're into the last over now. It looks like it's Harish. Or is it Hirsch? Bowling from the top, from the commentary box end. And Garvey's on strike. His resistance hasn't been enough. As he swings at another one and misses. Left arm over the wicket angle, defeating the swing of Garvey. Yes, Bartley's the new batsman in. He's at the non-striker end. 5 more deliveries to go. Huge win for Atlanta Fire in 5 deliveries time. They put the marker down. These two seem to be the best 2 teams of the competition. But Atlanta Fire had too much in this game, as another swing and a miss for Garvey. Too much fire in the belly for the Atlanta Fire. Proving too hot to handle. You got 2 more games coming your way after this. Atlanta Fire will be back in the action for the last game of the day. As Hirsch once again on a good line, good length. A slightly resigned look on the face of Garvey. 21 he's batting on now. The margin of victory is massive as well. The performance is good, both with bat, ball and in the field especially. Atlanta Fire has outplayed the Param Veers in this contest. The star-studded Atlanta Fire lineup. This match is going towards its timid end. Swing and a miss and a fumble by the keeper, but no intentions from the batters to look for the run. It has to be said that Param Veers has already qualified for the knockout stage as well, so this game has no consequences, barring the standings and their opponents for the semi-final. But they're through to the knockout stage of this tournament as well, so they will have another chance to go at Atlanta Fire at some stage, I guess. As a leg bye has been signalled. 69 for 7 with the last ball of the game to come up. Here we go, last ball of the game. A short and lifting over the head. It's a little bit of fuss going on, but it's been called as, is it a no ball?
No, he didn't signal. Not to me. You never signaled to me.
And it may seem that it's the end of the contest. So very comprehensive win for Atlanta Fire, slightly in controversial circumstances, but 69 for 7 Param Veers all could muster against a very tight bowling and some excellent fielding of Atlanta Fire. Garvey remained unbeaten with 21, the top scorer. Nothing much to write home about. Parchment had a few sixes, but all the top order was blown away. None of their star-studded lineup in the batting lineup could score any meaningful contributions. But in terms of bowlings, Babbo was sensational. 2 for 2 of his 2 overs. Powell got 2 for 12, and Gibran also got a wicket. And Fire was on fire in the field as well. So a comprehensive win. And we'll take a short break right here. Keep watching. 2 more games coming your way today. So stay tuned and keep watching, and we'll be right back with the next contest.